So bartending is a fun job. The kind of people that you meet, you interact, when you amaze them, that's what I live for. Hi, I'm Santosh Kukreti. People also know me as an Indian bartender. Right now, I've joined a new company. It's called JHPL, Jhakar Group of Hospitality, and we are opening 3 premium outlets in Bombay and soon in other part of the India also. It's a crazy story actually. I've started my career for a modern American restaurant called Ellipsis, which was in Kulaba. So I was assistant waiter, and then in 6 months I got promoted as a waiter, as a server. And then my mentor, Mr. Devinder Saigal, who is working in Hong Kong right now. So he won a cocktail competition from India, and he has represented India in Brazil for that. So when he came back from that competition, everybody used to come to take his interview. His photographer used to come on magazine paper every day. So it was very fascinating for me, and that was very exciting. And I said, "Sir, can I become a bartender like you?" So he has inspired me a lot, and he got me into the bar. So and from that day, my journey in bartending has started at Ellipsis. So Devinder was very particular about his craft of bartending, and he was very serious about cocktail. So he didn't let me make drink for almost 1 year. The rule was at Ellipsis, if you remember all the classic cocktail and signature cocktail, then only you're allowed to make drinks. And I think I was the only one who remembered like 300 classic cocktail, but still he didn't let me do that bartending job. He said, take your time, go easy, learn everything. And I want you to learn something new every day. Even if you break a bottle of Blue Label, I'll pay for it, but I want you to learn something every day. So that was him. So after almost working for a year, squeezing lime juices, washing glassware, cleaning bar, finally one of the day we had an event at the bar, and one of the bartender went out for smoking, and he said, "Can you be here?" And then guests asked for a cocktail. I knew the recipe, and Devendra was not around, so I just made that drink. And I remember it was with Monin syrup only. I have made a watermelon with cinnamon cocktail, and that was my first introduction into bartending. I feel very proud, and until now, like I feel goosebumps when I remember those moments, because the guests liked the drink, and that was like, wow, I have made it and I belong here. So that was the feeling for me. After 2 years, Devendra got an opportunity to work in Hong Kong, so he moved, and the same day I resigned also because I was working to learn things from him. Then I started my second job as a assistant bartender again. It took me almost 3 years to become bartender completely. So then that was in Hakkasan. It was a modern, it was like a Cantonese Chinese style restaurant in Bandra. So I worked there for almost like a year. Mayur was the bar manager there. So he allowed me, because he saw passion, creativity and everything. And then he told me, go speak with guests, make drinks with them. Because Hakkasan had very strict rule. You can only make this cocktail from the menu that is set by bartenders from London. But he gave me that authority that I can make my own cocktail and serve it to the guests also while speaking and recommending them. So that was the time, whatever I've learned in my 2 years of experience, I've started experimenting on my guests over there. And from that day, there was no looking back. Then I left Hakkasan, I went to Delhi, joined Taj, but I didn't like, so I came back in like 3 days. So I came back again in Bombay, and then I was jobless. So then randomly I went to a place, and there was a bar opening, and it was a speakeasy bar. Speakeasy is like a hidden bar, and usually speakeasy bar has a good cocktail program, and I said like, wow. And luckily I find a guy called Shobit. He is a dear friend of mine right now. So randomly met him, I spoke with him, I gave him CV. He called me for interview next day, spoke with boss, and I got the job as a bartender. And then that bar was consulted by some bartenders. But the guests had started complaining about, because maybe that bartender's style of drink was not liking by the guests. And so after a few complaints from the guests, my owner said, can you make something for the guests? That was the first time that my signature cocktail menu got listed on the menu. While working for PDT, people started knowing me because I've started making my own cocktail. And in that time, I've started posting cocktail on Facebook. So I used to write about classic cocktail, about history and everything. People started appreciating me on Facebook. They've started messaging me, commenting me, all the like brand ambassadors from different brands. They've started appreciating my work in there. When I went to work in Macau with the Ritz-Carlton, with my drink, people have started, okay, go to that bar. There's an Indian bartender who makes really good drink. So that's how I've changed my Instagram name to Indian Bartender, because I've got that recognition of Indian bartender because of the drinks that I make. So I like to use unusual Indian ingredients in my cocktail, and that is my style. For example, I've made a cocktail called the common man cocktail. It was inspired by the dal khichdi that we used to eat. It was like old monk rum as a base that had a syrup that is made from dal and rice. It has lime juice, pinch of salt, chili, nimbu, everything that goes in dal khichdi. It was converted into a cocktail and then garnished with a nice tadka of like Kolhapuri chili on top. So that was my cocktail. So that's how I take inspiration from everything around me. I have made cocktail with butter chicken, biryani. I like to make food inspired cocktail. So I take inspiration from everything. My traveling, people, journey, food, color, aroma, everything around me. So I've used Monin syrup throughout my career, working with different bars because it's initial part of bar. You can't have a bar without Monin syrup because the varieties, it makes the operation easy, quality, consistency, and everything. But so the best part about the brand Monin, which I like, is the people who are working with them. At times, I get event confirmation around 11 in the night, and the next day is the event. For example, Akshay, he's a good friend of mine. If I'll call him at 12 in the night, I said, "Bhai, I just need this syrup for the event," and he will make sure I'll get it before the time it was supposed to be reached. That personalized touch is that which is very close to my heart. That the people, they are passionate about the product, they care about me, about my event that I'm doing, and so that is something which is very personalized thing, and that is a relation that I've built in the industry, and that is something which I like the most about the Monin brand. So bartending is a fun job. That the kind of people that you meet, you interact, when you amaze them, that's what I live for. So it's about just giving an experience to the guests with your drink, with your thing. It's just hospitality. So that part of bartending excites me when you make somebody's days and that they remember you. Thank you for that. So that's when a bartender wins thing. Just making drinks, making people drunk, traveling around the world. So that is the plan that I have right now.